Wladimir Klitschko was always considered the more technical of the two brothers. He was more popular, but the real fear, the true respect, was reserved for his older brother, Vitali. With that intense, cold stare, an iron jaw, and a punch that made opponents literally bleed from their ears, Vitali was the guy everyone feared in the ring. Today, let's talk about why people were genuinely terrified of Vitali Klitschko at the professional level. Alright, let's jump back to 1998, when Vitali Klitschko squared off against journeyman Levi Billups. Billups was a powerful knockout artist, and he gained fame for going the full 10 rounds with Lennox Lewis. But Vitali wasn't about to let Levi get comfortable and dictate the pace of the fight. He constantly pushed Billups to the ropes, making sure he couldn't establish his rhythm.
Виталий тоже не заблуждается по поводу того, стоит ли подпускать. Корно очень сильный боксер противостоит Виталию, но он уже достал его. Достал несколько. Пошел на обострение. Все на дистанции.
A right cross shipped Billups. This was the beginning of the end. From there, Vitali started landing brutal hooks, and it was clear Levi had no way out. A savage left hook sent him crashing to the canvas in a brutal knockout. Smelling blood, Vitali went all in. Look at how he finished Billups off. That's an uppercut in the style of Razor Ruddock, the smash. Vitali put everything he had into that punch, and you can feel the power in it. This guy's arsenal wasn't just about the jab and cross, he had some serious knockout punches in there.
У американца, но вот частенько нарывается он сейчас получил такой.
In 1999, Vitali faced Herbie Hyde. Hyde wasn't called the Dancing Destroyer for no reason. By 1994, he had a 25-0 record with 24 knockouts and was about to face Michael Bent for the title. Who's Michael Bent, you ask? Well, this guy knocked out a peak Tommy Morrison in the first round to win the belt.
And much more accomplished fighter. Here we go. And a good right by Bent. And Tommy been down before in fights that he has won. And now Tommy Morrison gets hit with a...
Yeah, Bent was a serious force. Herbie Hyde was known for his wild antics, including a brawl with Bent at a press conference. When they finally fought, Hyde demolished Bent so badly that Bent had to retire early.
Oh, what a good right! Oh, what a cracking shot, he's down!
After that, Hyde got in the ring with the legendary Riddick Bowe. Hyde shipped Bowe a couple of times, stealing some rounds, but the size difference eventually caught up to him, and he was knocked out. Bowe himself said that Hyde hit harder than Evander Holyfield. But Hyde bounced back, regained his WBO title, and in 1999, he was matched up against Vitali Klitschko. Hyde brought his trash-talking game, trying to get into Vitali's head, even throwing punches at him during a press conference. But the cool, emotionless Ukrainian wasn't fazed at all. Vitali came to the UK, Hyde's home turf, to try and take his belt in front of the home crowd.
Other pretenders for the big lead. Klitschko is first, difference in size, but Hyde is very quick.
Hyde was quick, and he moved like lightning, using those fast counterattacks to catch Vitali off guard.
Is this his breakthrough night? And inspire talk of a showdown maybe with Lennox Lewis sometime next year.
Vitali, a little robotic in his movements, struggled to keep up with the champ.
Hyde's a fight we've heard so much about. Expect Hyde to try to dart in and out.
At one point, a quick left hand comes into play, and Hyde starts firing at Vitali in close range.
The thing we don't know about is Klitschko's chin. He's never really been asked to before now. Though he's a heavyweight of about Tyson Holyfield type stature. Fast.
Look at that. Vitali is forced to clinch. He's having a tough time.
He was the night he first won this title in his down at Millwall.
That's an awful long way he has to get.
Power. He's hit
In the second round, Vitali began pressing the champion. A sharp 1-2 to the jaw rocked Hyde, and a straight right sent him to the canvas.
Boosting his confidence, he's very hard on him. Now Klitschko gets him in the right hand and he's got Hyde down.
But Herbie wasn't going down without a fight. He kept moving, but Vitali had figured him out. A quick double shot, and Herbie went stiff as a board. This was a knockout.
In the round two.
And this is why Vitali earned the nickname Dr. Iron Fist.
Klitschko's looking for another one and finds it. Oh dear.
At first, no one really knew what had happened, but this angle shows everything. First, Herbie was stunned by a jab, and then a right to the temple turned the lights off for good.
Version of the world heavyweight title. It may be the less than $250,000 of them.
That's the final shot. It just seemed to glance by the...
You can't fake those kind of convulsions.
He's looking his eye.
And here's the moment I mentioned earlier. Vitali's punch ruptured Herbie's eardrums, and blood started pouring from his ears. That's some real damage right there. Vitali sent Herbie to the hospital, administering a dose of reality. No more trash talk for you, buddy. Alright, let's jump back to 1998, when Vitali squared off against this Bulgarian guy, Alban Belinsky.
Коренастый и крепко сбитый болгар. По росту он так ниже значительно, поэтому...
The dude was 5-0, and get this, all his wins were by knockout. Belinsky was tough, built like a tank, and he tried to close the distance to land his heavy hooks.
Да, уже, видите, 3 удара в голову прошли, не очень сильные.
But Vitali, man, he was all about controlling the distance with that left jab. His movement was insane for a guy his size. This was impressive.
Клинчевать не может. Виталий, видите, его все время держит на удар снизу, какой болгарин пропустил. А это удар левой в голову.
In one exchange, Belinsky tries to trip Vitali with a sneaky leg sweep, but that wasn't going to fly.
Все чаще вырывается, но это подсечка, это борцовский прием, за что посчитал и пошел.
Vitali landed a short left hook that rocked Belinsky, and then, sensing the opening, he fired a right hook that sent the poor guy straight to the canvas.
Но это уже все, да, если капа вывалит.
It all started with that left hook, and then 2 brutal right hooks sealed the deal. But that last punch? A bit too much. The referee was a fraction of a second too late to stop it. You just don't piss off a guy like Vitali. In 2001, there was the showdown with Orlin Norris, a former world champion in the light heavyweight division. But by that time, in 2001, his form was clearly on the decline. Now, when you look at Vitali's stare and the start of the first round, it's like the calm before the storm. Vitali throws a lightning-fast combo that catches Orlin Norris in the first minute. Then, he doubles it up and adds 2 brutal jabs, sending Norris crashing to the canvas. Norris wasn't really much of a threat, but look at Vitali's hand speed and his discipline. The man always followed up his combos with that jab, making sure his opponent couldn't counter. It's Boxing 101, the fundamentals they teach you from day one. And Vitali? He never stopped doing it. Even though after his right-hand double jab, most of his opponents were out cold. That's the difference between a good fighter and a great one. 2003, a fight against Kirk Johnson, one of the toughest guys in boxing at the time. He was ranked number 3 in the heavyweight world rankings. At that point, Johnson had an impressive record of 34 wins and was practically undefeated, except for that weird disqualification in his title fight against John Ruiz, who, let's just say, liked to hug a little too much. Now, Johnson wasn't just a tough guy, he was a straight-up knockout artist. This dude knocked out Oleg Maskiev, and the fight with Vitali Klitschko was supposed to make Kirk a legit contender for the title. For Klitschko, though, it was all about bouncing back after that brutal fight with Lennox Lewis. Vitali was trying to show the world that he still had that fire in him. It seemed like Vitali's gaze could pierce through time.
In the upper echelon of boxing cutting.
His style was like something straight out of 19th century London, with that low left hand and those deceptive movements. On the surface, it looked unorthodox, but it was designed to trick you.
You gotta bring it out of him, make him quit.
Big right hand by Klitschko, backs Johnson up into the ropes.
Kirk tried to land a heavy left hook on the Ukrainian, but he came in a little too heavy for this fight, and it showed in his speed.
And there's a good body shot by Johnson.
A crisp 1-2 combo shook Johnson up. You could see the surprise on his face. He didn't expect Vitali's speed to be that fast.
There's a body shot to the body.
Again, the classic combo from Klitschko, and once more, he starts with that left hook. This time, it's coming from a crazy angle, slicing through Johnson's guard.
Landing a good left to the body, missing with the right hand.
Kirk can't find his range. He's struggling to get in on the right distance. With about a minute left in the second round, Klitschko nails Johnson with a perfect 1-2, shaking him up. Vitali chases him to the ropes, unloading on him with sniper-like precision. It's like a surgeon working on a cadaver, just picking him apart. The Canadian gets up, but here's where he screws up. He stays against the ropes. Big mistake.
12 years as a pro.
You want to see a heavyweight?
Klitschko's bombs break through any guard. Another right hand sends Johnson straight to the canvas again. That was Vitali's comeback after that tough fight with Lennox Lewis. No tune-up fights, just straight into the deep end, facing one of the toughest guys in the division. The real issue for Kirk was those short left hooks, man. And when Vitali's right cross landed, it was like clockwork every time, just right to his head. This was classic Vitali. But even with Kirk on wobbly legs, Vitali didn't just swing like a brute. He kept it clean, throwing fast, effective combos, slipping through Johnson's defense and just beating him senseless. It was one of Vitali Klitschko's best wins. No doubt about it. All right, let's take it back to 1998, the fight for the European Championship against Francesco Spinelli. Francesco was a tough guy with a decent record, but the former kickboxing champ tore him apart. A brutal right hook sends Francesco into a daze, and then Vitali unleashes a brutal wave of punches. That killer instinct is something else.
Победный результат в пользу Виталия Кличко. Вот она, эта драка, кибой. Как не говорите, присутствуют элементы боксерской техники.
Francesco Spinelli was completely destroyed, and from that moment, it was clear Klitschko had outgrown the European level.
Менее минуты там хватило для этой победы. Мы видим, что рефери очень справедливо решил сейчас все это.
Now, fast forward to 2004, Danny Williams wasn't the washed-up guy fighting for scraps with Haritonov. Back then, he was a real gatekeeper, just a step away from the top dogs. And his win over Mike Tyson made him a star, giving him the shot to challenge for the WBC title held by Vitali Klitschko. Williams was known for his aggressive style, his brutal hooks on the inside and at medium range, and a chin made of steel. So, you know Vitali wasn't about to get into a slugfest with this guy.
One begins. Danny Williams immediately tries. Vitali Klitschko backs up and begins trying to work with.
From the very start of the fight, Williams goes all in. He's cutting the distance because that's his only shot at winning. But Klitschko was ready. That sharp left hook, the same one you saw in the fight with Kirk Johnson, rocked Danny.
Against Lennox Lewis. Jab flush on Danny Williams.
Then, another left-right combo from Vitali lands flush on Williams' head, perfect work on the retreat. The Brit's starting to wobble.
And Williams seems wobbled momentarily by the right hand.
Jim, that right came off the canvas, a sure sign that he was hurt, but he has fought hurt before.
Down and held up. Good right hand by Klitschko. Again, he lands over the top.
Vitali closes in, lands a heavy right hook. Just look at the bombs Williams is taking.
Compose and make it through this. It'd be hard for Klitschko.
Klitschko lands a big right hand shot. Williams' hands drop.
A powerful right hand from Klitschko goes right through Danny's guard, and then a killer combo drops Williams into the chicken dance.
And tries a right hand return. Vitali's got a chance for a first round KO here. Down goes Williams.
But he actually pushed him down.
But it'll count as a knockdown.
Oh, yeah.
7, 8, 9. Williams almost didn't beat the count.
First knockdown for the British knockout artist, but Danny gets back up. This guy can take a beating.
He's lost his way and he just took a huge right hand flush. The left hand lands. Here's the sticks, and those there are less than 10 seconds. Danny Williams is going to survive the first round battering, but at what cost?
Round 2 doesn't go much better for Williams. Bam, and that same left uppercut shakes him up again.
And Williams does not seem able to stop Klitschko's jab. You heard the people in Williams' corner say, if you want to win, you have to move your head. His head is still...
A lot of people underestimated Vitali's left because of his powerful right, but it's lethal in its own right.
It'll be target practice if he stands here.
That's what it was the first round.
And it's becoming that.
But look how wide Vitali's mouth is open already, though.
Wide feet, wide mouth.
Size very quickly.
But he has to attack. He can't stay out
Danny
there.
Williams.
He
Best
has
punch
to-
of the fight.
He has to continuously attack.
Vitali tried to clean him up. Now, a little as was the case in the Tyson fight, Danny Williams is starting to get into the uppercut lands for Klitschko. The blood starts to flow again above the landing for Klitschko, and that may be a little intimidating. Williams.
Throw a left hook to the head. He hit Klitschko almost every time, like that. But he has to throw more punches.
Jimmy McConnell.
He's on his back.
Good left hook starts the round for Danny Williams. Interpreter Jens Halling, who's interpreting Salunik German. Williams lands a body shot.
Back up. He likes to sit there and intimidate and push the fight himself. He likes to be the dictator. But he's a beautiful boxer from the outside. If you just stay out there, he'll box Danny all these next couple of rounds, because if he doesn't, and he lets Danny get in his fight, he can't take it.
Still outscoring Williams.
But Williams came into this real problem for Vitali because he has a hard left hook that if he ever hits Vitali...
Bam, and that same left uppercut shakes him up again.
It would seem like a case of mistaken.
Left hook by Klitschko floors Williams.
Williams is bleeding, but he's old school tough, getting back up. But the bell saves him.
6, 7, 8, 9, all right?
I mean when I say beautiful, Jim. Shots.
In the 4th round, Danny finds a second wind, trying to get to the champ, but it's all in vain.
Number 1, Vitali's fight with his mouth open. That's a clear sign that he made. Williams still right hand. Vitali farther there. He needs to get closer to really hurt him.
Klitschko doesn't get credit enough for how intelligently he fights, because he knows when to...
Beginning to swell shut.
Oh, low blow again. But Danny's confidence is coming. See that? That kind of punch will hurt Vitali.
Williams backs Vitali into the ropes, but the champ doesn't take a single shot.
Has been very effective for Vitali Klitschko.
And in the fight, he should fight always, which is outside. Pepper got it done. And just keep doing what he has to do.
Accurate punch seems to be happening here. That kind of left talked about heavy hands, and you hear Vitali thud quick enough to get you with the shot you don't see coming very often.
But I think Danny Williams is a little too slow to catch Vitali right now. Much more effect on Danny Williams than the Tyson punches would have.
Vitali Klitschko in the black trunks so far.
Williams' bodywork just isn't effective against him. By the end of round 7, another hook from Vitali, and Williams is down again.
Williams at this point has enough strength, enough balance to really land a right hand and hurt Klitschko.
It looked like it was a right hand, but actually, Klitschko caught him with a left, and his right hand to the back just sent Williams face first into the canvas. Unbelievably, the challenger gets back up. He didn't come to this fight just for a paycheck.
He's not going to take the chance of...
Vitali continues picking him apart from a distance, but Williams lands a good left to the body. Danny starts moving like a zombie, taking shot after shot.
Fires a 1-2 and then steps back. It's still target practice for Vitali Klitschko.
In round 8, an uppercut from Vitali and a signature left-right combo finally seals it for Williams. Danny gets up, but the referee steps in to stop him from taking any more damage. This was far from an easy walk in the park for the champion. Sure, Danny Williams wasn't a superstar, but in his prime, he gave every fighter a tough fight. In this bout, Vitali tore into his opponent from every angle, constantly moving, not at all like the stiff robot people always said he was. If he was a robot, it was only in the sense that he didn't wobble from even the hardest punches and only stopped when his opponent was lying on the canvas. One of the most unforgettable fights of Vitali's career, in my opinion, has to be his bout against Corey Sanders, the South African knockout artist known as the Sniper. Now, Sanders wasn't just some regular boxer. This guy was a legit problem, a strong, fast southpaw with an unorthodox style, hitting punches at insane angles and speeds, every single one of them capable of knocking you out cold. At the time of his fight with Vitali, Sanders had 39 wins and only 2 losses, one of which was to Hasim Rahman, a name every fan knows. People didn't really start taking Sanders seriously until he went up against the reigning heavyweight champion, Vitali's younger brother, Wladimir Klitschko. Sanders almost destroyed Wladimir in just 1.5 rounds. After that, promoters could no longer ignore him.
The problem Klitschko is having, he's got his knees bent to lower his height some more.
Then came his next fight against Vitali, the older Klitschko brother, who, of course, was being hyped up with the classic revenge for the brothers storyline. But, honestly, Corey Sanders wasn't really supposed to fight Vitali just yet. Klitschko's promoters were initially planning to set up a fight against Joe Ruiz. But when Lennox Lewis, who had already retired, stepped in and backed Sanders, he got his shot at Vitali for the vacant WBC title, the one Lennox himself had left behind. And guess what? Lennox even helped Sanders train for the fight, which made things incredibly tough for the Klitschko camp. If anyone knew how to handle Vitali's style, it was Lennox, the king of the heavyweight division. This fight was a big deal. Evander Holyfield, James Toney, and even Lennox Lewis were there. Fans wanted to see a war between 2 knockout machines with granite chins. Sanders wasn't much smaller than Vitali, but the big difference was that Sanders wasn't scared. Not one bit.
Visible in the ring, particularly in contrast to the statuesque muscle out there. Sanders' body and
From the get-go, Sanders took control of the center of the ring and started chasing Vitali from corner to corner.
reaching across the top with the left. Klitschko coming back with a left of his own. Sanders hasn't landed anything.
Vitali throws a right hand, but Sanders doesn't back off. His lightning-fast shots start breaking through Klitschko's defense.
Maybe already he feels like this is a different thing.
Vitali's in trouble. He starts clinching. His jab lands occasionally, but Sanders is too quick, and those hands down, they're throwing Klitschko off.
Most of Sanders' knockouts come. There's a big left hand and Vitali Klitschko.
At the end of round 1, a clean left straight from Sanders shakes up Vitali. Sanders goes for the finish, but Vitali retreats, holding on. How often have you seen him in this kind of situation?
Vitali Klitschko staggered by Sanders left. Vitali trying to...
Vitali falls, but it's not a knockdown, though he definitely felt the punch.
And it's not going to be called a knockdown.
The unknown African fighter takes the first round.
By Sanders, there's nothing like...
Vitali's thinking, but it's no surprise. Sanders' left hand was flying at the speed of a middleweight fighter. Only Lennox could do that to him before. The Ukrainian knows he's gotta adjust fast.
Vitali, he was 15 out of 33 punches by CompuBox for 45%. Sanders...
In round 2, Sanders takes a breather, and Vitali switches gears to his go-to move, methodically working the body. Sanders' endurance was never his strong point, but he couldn't afford to relax. Corey was dangerous every second of the fight, and Klitschko knew it.
Vitali just dodging the straight left that time. Sanders around the shoulder. Big miss by Sanders.
In the first third of the fight, if not the first.
By the end of round 2, Vitali lands 2 clean shots that finally reach their target.
Sanders backing Vitali off. Vitali goes back after it. 2 jabs and a right hand.
Away at each other.
There's a little mouse under the right eye of Sanders. And a straight right hand lands flush for Vitali. The right hand. Straight right hand
What
again.
he is doing depends on one punch.
And Sanders having to...
In round 3, Vitali starts to find his rhythm, but Sanders' left straight interrupts his attack.
like that. There's the hard left hand by Sanders.
As the round ends, Sanders' speed is still there, and he pressures Vitali to the ropes. Vitali clinches again.
In trouble. Gets in again. Last minute of the third round, Vitali Klitschko starts to...
A right hook bypasses the block, but Sanders endures it.
Slugfest in the center of the ring. Hard right hand by Vitali Klitschko. Another one, and he steps away before Sanders can set the left. 2 more. Sanders misses with the big left. Vitali pounds him twice with the right hand. And some lefts. Big right.
It was a competitive round. In round 4, Sanders takes another break, and Vitali starts unloading body shots. He can feel Sanders starting to fade.
Like he can go a hard.
He was as a boy, Vitali is what we'll call him from now on. Doing, no doubt, asking Sanders to trade.
He was a tremendous golfer, etc.
Ropes.
By round 5, Sanders slows down even more, and Dr. Iron Fist catches him near the ropes. A nuclear 1-2 from Vitali, followed by his signature left hook.
Avoid Corey's big left hook.
Things are looking grim for Sanders.
Trying to go for a finish. So badly ripped open by Lennox Lewis. Would break open at first contact here.
Vitali begins to break down his opponent with precision. He's not looking to slug it out with this guy.
Growing as he watches what's in front of him.
Stiff shots on his whiskers, and he keeps working.
By the end of the round, a right straight shakes the sniper, and Vitali tries to finish him off, but Sanders holds on.
Big right hand lands for Klitschko.
Sanders is hurt.
He wobbled on that one. Vitali's trying to put his man down. Looks like Corey's going to make it out of the round, but none the better for wear. Big shots down the stretch. Sanders, by CompuBox numbers, landed round 6 of his scheduled 12.
In round 6, Sanders is barely standing, fighting purely on heart. But in a moment of brilliance, Sanders' left hand catches Vitali clean.
Sanders re-energized for a moment after getting in that left. Vitali's trying his right hand. Puts him straight. Oh, big left hand knocks Vitali back. What a comeback it would be for Sanders if he came back.
The sniper becomes dangerous again every second, pressing Klitschko to the ropes and unloading everything he's got. But Vitali handles the pressure with ease, continuing his methodical attack.
Sanders gets in and handled that one pretty well.
Sanders wasn't about to give up control. He keeps coming forward, taking insane shots, blood running down his face, but he keeps fighting.
Neither of those landed as cleanly as the first. Big left hand swing.
Corey keeps pushing Vitali from corner to corner, a real warrior's finish from the African champ.
Back in this round, from having taken a big left hand shot in the first minute. And it's Klitschko dominating again as the round comes to.
By round 7, Sanders still had fight left. He wasn't backing down.
Retiring now is Sanders, who has fought only in bursts. Los Angeles.
At the end of the round, Klitschko lands the precise right hand to Sanders' chin, but Sanders keeps moving forward, pushing until the bell rings.
Vitali Klitschko just trying to stay out of the way and land enough combinations.
So who clinches in this fight?
He got a little bit more of a brawl now. Right, he goes upstairs, then back to the body. Sanders tries 2 more big sweeps.
I don't recall.
In round 8, Vitali's explosive right hooks start getting past Sanders' defense more and more. Body shots, headshots, varied work from the Ukrainian.
First couple of rounds were scintillating. Action has slowed recently. They bump head.
Sanders tries to respond, but in the end, Klitschko's attacks drain the life out of him.
And now these lefts are not straight lefts, but roundhouses. And just as I say that,
Sanders holds onto his belief in that left hand, but Dr. Iron Fist punishes him for every mistake.
just when I said the action had slowed, now they're trading power shots. Straight right hand stops Sanders in his tracks. Left hook lands. Right hand lands. What a show of courage by Corey Sanders as he takes shot after shot with blood streaming.
A heavyweight brawl.
Good, quick left hook by Vitali. Sanders can't get off a punch. Like a drunken sailor there.
He's ready to go, Jim.
And Vitali Klitschko is going to try.
Finally, a combo, a heavy right straight, and the referee can't take it anymore. He stops the fight.
Unbelievable show of courage by Corey Sanders.
What keeps him up? That's it.
Finally, the referee rescues Sanders.
Those punches would have been enough to knock most guys out 3 times over, but Sanders takes them, stays on his feet, the unstoppable sniper of the heavyweight division. Impressive victory for Vitali Klitschko, and what a fantastic fight. In 2004, Vitali Klitschko stepped away from boxing due to a string of injuries, but in 2008, he announced his comeback. And guess what? His first fight back? A title shot for the WBC against the dangerous champion, Samuel Peter. Now, Peter, known as the Nigerian Nightmare, was undefeated with 30 wins, the only loss being a close one to Wladimir Klitschko. Going into this fight, the oddsmakers had Vitali as the underdog.
Peter, 6 feet and a half, also.
Vitali walked into that ring and absolutely demolished Samuel Peter. Peter had 0 chance.
Now this does not look like a man who is trying to get here.
And has shown steady improvement, Sam Peter. This is a bad stylist.
Tried a right hand there, but it was blocked. And
it was one of those moments where, before the fight, everyone was saying, all right, this is it. Klitschko's getting knocked out. And after, they were like, that was just another punching bag. What did you expect?
to get the win.
Of course, there are international judges from all over the world, but there's just no question when fighters have gone to Germany from other locations, bad things happen to them.
He doesn't want to continue out, and that's it. It's all over.
The Klitschko brothers were dominating the heavyweight division, killing any suspense. But that's the price of domination, right? Vitali defended his title 9 more times in just 3 years, but then he retired as champion without ever getting what he really wanted, a rematch with Lennox Lewis, who left the sport right after their fight.